Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I hope y'all can see her. She's pretty, right? Yeah, she's cute. My opinion only. Okay, let me see. Okay. Well, if y'all don't know who this woman is the late, great NBA star, LorenzoWright. This is his ex-wife, the woman that is responsible for his demise. She came up with this lavish story about him being a dope dealer. And one thing that amazed me, look at his funeral. She is so much in pain. She is grieving. She can't take it. She don't understand how this happened and who did it and why. But all the time, she know why. Okay, you guys. The only thing that's really, really sad about this was the children. I believe they had 4 to 5 children. I know they had twin boys that is currently playing in the NBA as well. They're playing overseas, I believe. She has a daughter that is in college getting her master's degree, and she has another son that's also doing well, and he's playing football. So all of her children that she has with LorenzoWright are doing very, very well. They are also taking behind their father. The boys are doing they're athletes. 2 of them, the twin boys, are taking behind his profession. They became basketball players with scholarships, and then the other son is a football player, but the daughter, she's taking up something else. So anyways, their kids came out to be great individuals of society. With that being said, is this: she took her husband away from the children. And now her children, even though that the father is passed on, the mother is in court fighting to get released from jail. It's a thin line to play, because even though their mother was the cause of this, they don't have no father. And they know that their mother played a part into why their father is not there. And so it takes a lot of courage and strength, and I commend those children, the ones that showed up today, to testify on their mother's behalf and say, they told the truth, and I really appreciate their truth and their honesty. That, yeah, my mother is the cause of us losing our father. We lost a mother and we lost our father. And so we can't just hover around what happened. We can't bring him back, and yes, we know what happened, or what we was told to happen, but we still have to be here to support our mother as well. So I think that was very hard for them to say, I'm not going to mess with you no more. F that. You had something to do with my dad getting killed. He's not here with us no more. All because you got money hungry, and he was going to divorce you, and you didn't have a job, you didn't have no other income coming in, and so you wasn't gonna live the lavish life that he provided you with. So you got selfish. You came up with this plot and scheme to take him out for his insurance policy. And how long you think that was gonna last? So that the kids, I think they was put in a hard position to cuddle their mother, knowing what she did to their father. But this is her bond hearing. She's only been in jail, so I think 5-6 years, I think, maybe shorter, but I don't know. She's supposed to have 10 years before she's eligible for parole, but they messed up in the paperwork, so she's got her parole hearing. And so let's see how this going to pan out. Okay. Hi, what's going on, my kings and my queens? This is your girl, Queen 318, Representative Diva House Queen TV, and we are back with another one. Go ahead and thumbs up the content, push me through the algorithm. I appreciate it so much, my kings and my queens, my crowns and my tiaras. Leave a comment in the comment section. Also, if you're here for the first time, welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you want to do so. I would really appreciate that. But let's not hold you so long. Let's go. Let's get it. Subscribe. Thumbs up, baby.
It was owned by the two of them. The young person that what you've read, and it was owned by the two of them. And so he couldn't handle the pressure, so he went ahead and paid the part for my ex-husband. And when that made us owe him. And so he put pressure for us to get the money to him, and my cousin, Jimmy, and Billy, they both were working. Jimmy would go to Florida and pick up the dope, and Billy was doing the more local transactions. He wasn't doing the Florida runs. There was a lot of animosity between both of them. It was power plays between Jimmy and Billy because one of them wanted to be the man and one of them wanted to make the most money, and it was a lot of chaos. Leading up to Mr. Wright.
Between Billy and Jimmy?
Yes, it was. It was like power plays, competition, like who's going to be the closest to Lorenzo, who's going to get the best jobs, who's going to get the most money, that type of thing. And Jimmy wasn't making a lot of money because he owed us for attorney fees that we had paid for him. And also, Lorenzo bailed him out of jail on his murder charge. Leading up to the murder, we got, my son was approached at his school and he was threatened. Lorenzo Jr. was approached at his school and his life was threatened. And they wanted his dad's whereabouts because Lorenzo went into hiding. While all this was going on, it was a target placed on me and my kids' heads, and people were knocking on our doors looking for him. And at that point in time, Lorenzo began hiding out, so I didn't even know where he lived. But with the two of them being able to work for him, they knew where his address was. So when the knock came at the door, I called everybody in. I was like, look, he wants his money. How much money do you guys have?
Where was he living at this time?
He was in Atlanta. Lorenzo was located in Atlanta at that time.
Okay, that's what I was making sure of. Now, did you visit
Excuse me?
And you visited him in Atlanta after your divorce, right?
Only once. Yeah, now, I picked up the kids from Atlanta once I was divorced from him. They went to his house, and that...
If the volume low, that's how this content was uploaded. So that's not on my end. I did everything I could do to try to make it louder. I was going to play it off my TV, but it's kind of late where I'm at. So I didn't want to wake up my family.
We'll get to that, but in that particular, but yes, I visited once in Atlanta.
Okay.
Not really visited, I just visited.
When you left the window open?
No, sir, that never happened. Every house that Lorenzo lived in or whatever, once I went to Atlanta, I was given the keys to that home, just in case anything happened. All of my stuff was still in his garage. He had all his stuff in his...
So now she's trying to set up the part of, at this time, Lorenzo done moved out the house, got his own place, because he was tired of her. Well, I don't know the ins and outs of their marriage or whatever, but she wanted to act like that, okay, when he moved out, he still gave me a key to the house. Bitch, girl, why would he do that when he moved out? Why would he give you a key to his house? He don't want to be with you no more. So, even y'all co-parenting with the children. But why would he want to give you a key to his house? He stayed in a gated community. And he gave you the house that y'all made y'all family in. So why would he give you a key to his condominium in his gated community? So what she's trying to do, she's trying to set up the plan and the plot on the setup, in my opinion. You know, to make it seem like, oh, he moved out, but we still was cordial with each other. You know, we didn't have problems. I met him at the I met him at the store down, all this. She was coming up with so many lavish stories. But I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I'm going to skip some of this and whatever. But if you guys want to see the full contents of this, I'll leave that in the description box of the comments. If you can't find it, then I don't have to tell you.
Garage, he was hiding out. He was like, anything happens, you need the keys to that place.
What?
And he gave it to one of the children to give to me. So that never happened, no locking his windows. As a matter of fact, the day that we went to the Atlanta to his home, he met me at the gas station because I didn't know how to get there. And when I followed him to the house, he was like, the kids are in the pool. I didn't want to take them out. So meet me at the gas station, and then I'm going to bring you into the... And if you look at this townhouse complex, it was a whole lot of townhouses, and the entrances to the doors were from the back of the townhouses and not necessarily from the front. And I never even went inside of his house, so there was no way to unlock the windows. I picked the kids up from poolside. I never even went inside his home.
Okay, we better continue with what you were saying.
Okay, yes, sir.
You don't cut that shit.
Come on, man. I got him separated for a reason,
You don't cut that shit out.
I don't cut it out.
You don't cut that shit out.
What doing to you?
And when they came to my son's school to threaten him that particular day, I called everybody into the house and I said, what kind of money do you have on you right now? What do you have? What have you made? What do you have right now? And because this guy wanted his money. And he said
Put him back to with sexually explicit text messages, asking him to come back, and that all occurred around the time of his murder. And then you took substantial steps to go clean up the crime scene and to hide evidence. Going so far as to borrow a metal detector to look for shell casings and bits of evidence. Is all that true or untrue?
which one do you want me to start of? Because there's parts of that are, I did bring, earlier, I understand what you have in front of you, sir.
Okay.
However, I did bring Lorenzo to Memphis. I did show the text messages to the guy. I did have to do that because he was right there in my face. You have to show me that you're cooperating with me. I did know that there's the possibility that he could die from that. I did understand that. And
so you're saying it was a possibility he could die. That you're not saying that you
if the money was paid
and desired him to be executed for $1 million.
That's not the plot, sir. I'm sorry, but that's not. I understand what you have in front of you. I understand what that looks like. But that money wasn't even set anymore to go to. Personally, I had signed a living will, and the living will that I had signed was, and I never got to go to trial, so none of this ever got to come up. I took the plea deal because it was just in my best interest because I knew what was being said, and I was very depressed about that. And I felt like I was responsible for Lorenzo's death in a lot of ways. Number one, I did send those people to his house. I did send them to his house, but I never went inside of his house. I picked the children up from the pool side. I never even went inside of the house.
Okay.
And so I didn't unlock any windows. That's not true. But I did go to his house, and I did send people to his house. The only reason why I went to the house is because the other children were at the house, and I knew I had sent the people to the house, so I wanted to get the children out of harm's way.
Okay. All right. Well, at this point, I think we've been through the facts of the case, and I'm sure there'll be more come up through the remainder of this hearing. At this point, I'd like to hear from some of your support. If you would like to...
Okay, this is the reason why I fast forwarded for you guys. Because her twins supposed to came to testify, will give a statement about their mother. And so they got lost. They actually went to the women's prison. They went somewhere else, another prison. Instead, that's my charger. I just charged it up because it was like that. So they went to another prison. Your charger thing is over there. Okay. But you can you can plug yours in. So they actually went to another prison, but her youngest son and her daughter came to testify, and then just listen to the testimony of the son. I think he's reading what he had to say, or his twin brother, I'm not sure, but just listen to what they have to say, and then baby, get into what the goddamn mama had to say, and the auntie stood right next to her ass, dogging her out like she was dog walking her ass like she wasn't even fucking there. But she was like, you can't do nothing, you can try, you're already in jail, you don't want to mess up your parole hearing. So she did that on purpose, my opinion.
Say whoever you would like to speak.
Me and my family have to deal with the history of pretty much what's been going on with my father's death, and pretty much trying to navigate our relationship with our mother around other people. I would be lying to say that I didn't mourn my father's death. Saying I haven't come to terms with my father's death would be a lie, though, as well. The older I become, the more I understand about my parents and their trials, just becoming immature. My father was a great man who took the burden of taking care of pretty much his entire family. Not just us, his kids, but his mother, his sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews. The list continues, even people who aren't part of our family. Mentally, I know that was draining for someone like him. Just coming from nothing and getting to the point of success where you're in the NBA, and now you got all these people who depend on you, and like you said, you just actually getting a taste of that money and getting a taste of that life. Even when I knew he was overwhelmed, my dad was my role model. Even when I knew stuff used to get to him, I know he was frustrated, even when he had his problems, even when he had his outbursts, his certain rages and things like that. I knew he had a lot of love now. Even with my mom playing a role in my father's death, I still had to understand who she is in my life. She is a victim of domestic violence, abuse, whether it is mental, physical, or emotional. It does not excuse her from the decisions that she's made, and it doesn't take back the time that we've lost from my father. But I do understand as I become older how much mental trauma, physical abuse, and emotional abuse can do to a person. The years following my father's death, you could tell my mom's decisions made her make different changes in her life.
And that part right there touched me to my core when I first seen this, because I grew up in a domestic violence house as well with my father, my real father, not my stepfather. And so I was angry at my mother for, taking him back and bringing him back into our life and stuff like that. So, but I was a teenager around this time, and I was being rebellious, and I'm like, well, you didn't raise me or whatever. At this time, my stepfather had passed away, and so he, the only man that I knew, I didn't know my real father. So he come back into my life. I looked just like him, a split image, but I didn't like him. And then he started doing the physical abuse and stuff like that. Couldn't stand the man. And I resented my mom before taking him back, even though when he was younger, then hearing stories about what happened to him and my mom, and like, you want this man back in our life and stuff like that. So when he's saying the physical abuse, emotional abuse, and all that stuff, he resented his mother. I understand that, but it still don't take the fact that she had took him out, and she bring this lavish story about he was a drug dealer to cover up the fact that she took him out over the insurance money because she don't have a job. She wasn't going to continue that luxury lifestyle that he provided for her. Okay, the kids were still young. He was going to pay child support, but maybe it wasn't going to be enough. So she thought that $1 million was going to just come out and be her super saver hoe. You have this house. You have to pay your mortgage. You have all these bills. You have to keep upscale with that house that he gave you. Your children probably was in private school. How far you think that $1 million is going to stretch out with 4 children? and trying to keep up the appearance that you want to keep up. And so, for her, put her kids in a position that she put her kids in by coming to testify on her behalf, knowing that she did that to their father, and she wants them to sit here and say, my mom was a good mom, she was going through a physical abuse, emotional, and all this other kind of stuff. I think that's a lame ass fucking, she lame for that shit. Period, point blank. The bitch deserved to be underneath the goddamn, if you ask me, but I'm not in this courtroom. I'm just giving y'all my commentary and my personal opinion on what I think about this woman. But I'm gonna fast forward, so because it's already getting too long. I want y'all to hear from his mom and them.
Starting mental health nursing.
Every day in Memphis.
Address all comments.
Good morning. No bags packed and we have to leave.
That's her daughter.
I've seen domestic violence. Myself, and I talked to my dad about it, and it was one of those things that I've just been so
and they keep on bringing this domestic violence up. Also, there has not been not one thing reported that she went to, she called the police on him, and then say she dropped the charges on him, nothing. There has not been not one person, not a neighbor, hearing them argue. They hear them arguing, but not like, stop hitting me and stuff like that. Even the children can't testify to say that they actually witnessed their father hitting their mother. And then his mom and family members, you know how his side of the family would lie for their son and nephew and stuff like that. You know, they would do that because that's their family. But some of her friends and stuff, they can't even testify to say that they actually seen him physically hit her. They argue they did that, but like striking her, nobody can contest that LorenzoWright was physically abusive to his wife. So that's a part that she want to play on the heartstrings of the people, of the public, and in the courts to say, oh, this man, he physically abused me. I stayed there for my children. No, you stayed there for that money. And he left your ass because you wasn't doing shit, and then y'all was arguing a lot, and then he didn't want to get physical, so he removed himself, and you was not having that at all. She was not having that. So she came up with this plan to say he was a big-time dope dealer. And it's not far-fetched to say that athletes, we have seen them, y'all have seen on TV, social media, that some athletes have, sold drugs and messed their career. He wasn't that guy. He wasn't that guy at all. He just got caught up with a beautiful woman that got money hungry, came up with a scheme, and took him out. All because for the love of money. But also, you guys, if you like the content, go ahead and thumbs up the content, please, please, please. It's for the free. I have looked back at some of my other content, and I got views, but the likes didn't match the views. So my views should match my likes. My likes should match my views. And if you're here for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Subscribe if you want to. Leave a comment in the comment section so I know what you guys thought about this content. And I am your girl, Queen 318 Representative Diva, and you are tuning into who? What? House of Queens TV, baby.
About since mommy's been in jail,
Sure, we didn't.
growing up is her kid, and she's always been that way. She's always been caring. She's always been loving. She's always been our mom, and that's always been her job title. She never really worked when I was growing up, so that's also a thing that Chrissy was saying. That it's kind of cool seeing her come out here and say, hey, like, I want to take up computer, because she's so smart. She graduated top 10 of high school. She's about to graduate. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, she's very smart, but she made some dumb decisions.
Right at the FedEx Forum, she had a rally every year so no one would forget that LorenzoWright was killed. I think today, in listening to everything that has been said, now the kids, I know the kids are sincere in what they say, but I also believe that even they think their mother did something wrong. And there's no doubt about the record. Yes, she did something wrong. I personally don't think she served enough time for her act. I was a United States Marine for a little over 24 and a half years. I went to Vietnam. I've seen death. You're very welcome. I've seen death, malicious death, violent death. But the act that took my nephew out of this world was unbelievable. That was just total evil. There's no way to describe it other than evil. And if you, the parole board, let her out now, no way. She has not had enough time to sit down, contemplate, and realize what she did. She's smart. She's smart. There's not a doubt about that. Because where she is right now, she's smart. That's it for me.
Thank you, sir. Okay, who else would like to speak?
I am Deborah Marion, and I'm Lorenzo's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
After this murder, what was really bad was my grandkids. They didn't know what to do. They went from a daddy missing to a daddy found dead. So they were like, not knowing what to do. And then we lead up to facts. They heard the facts about their mother luring their daddy. They heard the facts about their mother going to Georgia to make sure he got killed. And that's what was really crazy, that the facts that actually came out, about them sitting around the dining room table planning the murder. What part of that don't they understand? And my grandkids suffer. They haven't had any counseling. They just act like they can just keep going on. They need counseling. Their mother killed their father. Can anybody explain that to them? They need counseling. And I hope they one day get some, because all of them need some form of counseling. Because that's devastating. My mother killed my daddy, so I don't have a mother or a daddy. That ain't good. And I think she need to stay there for her term. I'm doing life, so she need to do just 30. I don't want her to do but 30. That's it. And she can come on home. Be with her kids. Because you hear how they talk, she have even manipulated them to the core. Because a lot of stuff that was told to me, it just got twisted up today. And I can, you can look, let me tell you what you can look at the newspaper and find. You can look at the newspaper and find they said that the guy approached Lawson, not Lorenzo Jr., Lawson. Look at the commercial appeal. That's easy said than done. You can just open up paper. See, the kids still kind of messed up because they haven't got the real realm of what's really, really going on. Because I know they love their mother, and they want her to come home just because she's their mother. But if she was the neighbor next door that planned to kill their dad, it wouldn't have went like this. No, and that's why I think she didn't do it.
And see, the mother, she spoke the truth. She spoke the truth, and I respect it and understand it. Like I said in the beginning, the kids is stuck. Their mother planned and carried out the murder of their daddy. Not because he was cheating. Not because he was being physically violent with her. Not because he was being selfish with his money. He gave her the house. He gave her everything. He moved out. And got a house big enough for his other children, for his children to come and stay as well. They come stay at his house sometime, and still stay with their mother. He took money out of his pocket and went and bought another house. The house was big enough. I'd be like, hold on. You go stay in that part of the house, I'll stay in this part of the house. Nah, he diffused the situation and moved out. She didn't take him out because of why they said cheating and all that carrying on. She took him out because she realized that her meal ticket was no longer. And her children had to suffer the most because that's their mother and Lorenzo's is their father. I don't want to turn my back on my mom. So I don't know how to deal with this. He's my dad and she's my mom. How do we deal with something like this? That's really tough. And this was a high-profile murder. So them going to school, they friends seeing and hearing about this, I'm quite sure they brought it up to them. That's just trauma on top of trauma. And they still being traumatized by sitting in this courtroom testifying for their mother on how good of a woman she is, knowing that she fighting to get out of jail because she killed who? They daddy.
30. She only do with 30. You can let.
Please don't comment to the inmates. Address the Tennessee Board of Parole. And if you would just state your name and a relationship to the victim, and you may take up to 4 or 5 minutes.
My grandkids, they didn't know what to do. They went from a daddy missing to
something wrong. And there's no doubt about the record. Yes, she did something wrong. I personally don't think she served enough time for her act. I was a United States Marine for a little over 24 and a half years. I went to Vietnam. I've seen death. You're very welcome. I've seen death, malicious death, violent death. But the act that took my nephew out of this world was unbelievable. That was just total evil. There's no way to describe it other than evil. And if you, the parole board, let her out now, no way. She has not had enough time to sit down, contemplate, and realize what she did. She's smart. She's smart. There's not a doubt about that. Because where she is right now, she's smart. That's it for me.
Thank you, sir. Okay, who else would like to speak?
I am Deborah Marion, and I'm Lorenzo's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
After this murder, what was really bad was my grandkids. They didn't know what to do. They went from a daddy missing to a daddy found dead. So they were like, not knowing what to do. And then we lead up to facts. They heard the facts about their mother luring their daddy. They heard the facts about their mother going to Georgia to make sure he got killed. And that's what was really crazy, that the facts that actually came out, about them sitting around the dining room table planning the murder. I don't what part of that don't they understand? And my grandkids suffer. They haven't had any counseling. They just act like they can just keep going on. They need counseling. Their mother killed their father. Can anybody explain that to them? They need counseling. And I hope they one day get some, because all of them need some form of counseling. Because that's devastating. My mother killed my daddy, so I don't have a mother or a daddy. That ain't good. And I think she need to stay there for her term. I'm doing life, so she need to do just 30. I don't want her to do but 30. That's it. And she can come on home and be with her kids. Because you hear how they talk, she have even manipulated them to the core. Because a lot of stuff that was told to me, it just got twisted up today. And I can, something, you can look, let me tell you what you can look at the newspaper and find. You can look at the newspaper and find they said that the guy approached Lawson, not Lorenzo Jr., Lawson. Look at the commercial bill. That's easy said than done. You can just open up paper. See, the kids still kind of messed up because they haven't got the real realm of what's really, really going on. Because I know they love their mother, and they want her to come home just because she's their mother. But if she was the neighbor next door that planned to kill their dad, it wouldn't have went like this. No, and that's why I think she didn't do 30. She only do with 30. You can let her come home at 30. I just need for her to do what she did and pay for it. That's why society's so messed up now. You can cop a plea and run through the prison and come on home. No, not today. Not in 2022. We need to do something about it. We need to make a change. Because that plea, that's not even good plea. I'm going to plead that, I say I'm sorry. I don't even say I'm sorry. I just say, I sit in my dining room and plan this murder, y'all. I'm telling y'all I did it. So that's a plea for me. What is that? That's not good. You know, you get less time just because you say, yes, I did it. That's not real. No, we need time, people to serve time so everybody around can pay attention. That's why somebody's dying every day in Memphis, Tennessee. Just go on the news. Because they not getting no time. They running through the system. Please, I'm guilty. I did this. Now send me to prison for a little minute. No, that don't work. She need to do time. I'm doing life without my child. So I want her to feel like I feel. Left out. Lost and left out. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Who else would like to speak?
Yes, sir. I'm Sergeant Tony Parks with the Miss Police Department. I was one of the lead investigators on this case. Throughout this investigation, I learned how deceitful and misleading and manipulative that Sheriff could be.
Sir, first of all, you are not a member of the victim's family.
No. There's something wrong with you. So with that being said, I don't care how many classes you take, how many times you try to take classes, what do you try to do, you 4 or 5 years is not going to get you decided, because now you're confined. So now you have to come up with something to get out. But when you was out, after he had murdered, you didn't want about a house, you didn't move to California, you departed when the money ran out, now all of a sudden there's an issue. So you wasn't that thoughtful about the kids then, when you was out before you got caught. But now when you're caught and you incarcerated, now all of a sudden you have to go to all these classes, you're trying to do all this to make yourself better and go to all these schools and everything. I don't think she's ready to get out, and I just think that even the only next pro hearing is, it should bypass them and go to another one, because 4 to 5 years, and then she's trying to even add on more time from the time when we got her 2018, when she was arrested after her son's basketball game that night. After the game, we had to stop the traffic stop then, trying to add that time on to it. It didn't start then. It starts now, and then 10 to 50, 20 years from now, like Ms. D said, 30 years from now, then that's when I think that you should be able to know that, hey, look, I did wrong and everything. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I believe we have the District Attorney General here present for the district and across the Shelby County. If you just state your name and your position and whatever you'd like to say up for the record.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rich. Amy Wyrick, District Attorney General for Shelby County. The Board of Parole has signed a letter that was sent on behalf of the District Attorney's Office in opposition to this hearing that we find ourselves at. Yes. And it's frustrating enough in the District Attorney's Office on cases of this magnitude, cases that
On the insurance policy,
Just state your name again for us.
Sergeant Tony Parks. And on the initial insurance policy, she went and bought a house on a Reed Hooker with some of the money, and then when that house there foreclosed, and she moved out and took the money and she bought cars and everything. That was on this investigation back in 2010 when we assisted then, but that's before we picked up the investigation in 2017. So that insurance money was of course received from her, but it was not used to pay off some drug debt she was referring to. She went and bought a home out of a Reed Hooker, and then other things as far as cars and everything else.
Well, and I understand these. I'm trying not to read anything in the news,
yes,
articles, or media who doesn't want to conversate these or present the facts. But I'm looking at this thing based on the record here and what's being told there, so that I can make a decision based on.
For leading people to where he was staying in Atlanta. I am taking full responsibility for that. I am taking full responsibility for setting up the meeting on the 18th that eventually led to his death.
Y'all see her son sitting over there to the left, her right. He side-eyeing his mom. I wonder what's going on in his head as he listened. He's sitting up here and listening to his mother. He has been crying. He's opened up, old scars, old wounds, refreshing it. Like the grandmother said, they don't know the real story. They only know what she told them and what they heard in the news. And I don't think that she ever gonna come clean and say she downright took them out for money. She gonna keep that story probably to her deathbed. But they do deserve the truth. And I think that she should tell them that when she really ready to want her children to openly and love her full to the capacity, because they still have a little envy in their heart. I didn't give y'all the full ins and out because this content already long and I don't know how many views I'm gonna get. Hopefully I get a lot. So the likes should match the views. So go ahead and thumbs up the content, y'all. It's for the free.
I am taking full responsibility for losing over $4.5 million of income in a year, and then not trying to deter him from making illegal money, because I didn't want to lose my lifestyle. And so I could have deterred him and did things differently. That also affected the children. They had to come out of their private schools and things of that nature. It was a hard time for our family. And I could have did some things different. It was really hard telling Lorenzo no, though. That's one of my hardest things that I've ever had to face is, and I learned that in boundaries class, how to now say no. And I think that's going to take me a long way in life, and I wish I would have had that skill during that time of my life, but I did not. And being totally codependent upon him, that was a difficult thing to say. I want to say that when you hire, ask him, let's get the cash value out of this policy so you can pay these people, and that's what we did. And that's all I want to say today, and I want to let you know that I understand that parole is a privilege, and it is not something that I have to receive or something that I should receive. And I'm asking today for your mercy, and I'm asking that you just read in between the lines or just listen to everything that's been said. And I want to thank you for the opportunity, if I'm given a second chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Give me just one moment, and I'll be back with my
Yes,
vote.
sir.
Did I miss the part? Hold on, you guys, just for a second.
An excellent prison record. You have done very well here. I believe you have a support system that could help you in the free world. You have done an excellent job while in prison.
If they hadn't facilitated him being dead. So I'm done with that part. This is my part about this. My nephew would still be here. These kids would still have their mom if this didn't go down like this. I don't think she served enough time because she didn't think about this. She didn't think about her kids when she did it. They didn't think about this when it all went down. They didn't think about anything but the money when it all went down, because that's all they got out of it was $1 million. So, to me, the time has not been served because my nephew would never be back. These kids would never have their father, ever. They're going to get their mother back one day, but they will never have their father. I would never have my nephew. And a lot of the stuff they said that I heard today is so untrue because I saw my nephew every other day. I lived right around the corner from my nephew. In his townhouse, the entrance is on the front.
Yes, it is.
When you drive up. So that is.
Oh, I couldn't hold myself, y'all.
So all that was a lie.
She's standing right next to her.
I don't know what see my nephew every other day, if not every day. He called me every day. I was the last person probably in my family to talk to him from Atlanta. I was the one to call his mom and said, go look for your son, because something is wrong. I don't think it's time served. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Okay.
How low I stooped, or how low I watched him, go.
This time, and under the sentence under the year where you were sentenced, your good time came off of the front of your sentence instead of the back, and I believe the state of Tennessee legislature has addressed that, and now good time only comes off the back of the sentence, therefore not reducing bringing you up for parole even earlier. You're not even eligible for parole under any kind of parole until 2025. So I see I'll see any kind of reason that early release would be justified in any matter.
LorenzoWright will fight for her freedom today.
We're talking about SherraWright. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison for involvement in Wright's murder. Today, for the first time, she'll appear in front of a parole board. Action News 5's Kelly Roberts is live with details on what to expect. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning to you. Well, SherraWright is serving her time at a facility in Nashville. That is where she will appear in front of the parole board. But here at the Parole and Probation Office off Overton Crossing and Fraser is where LorenzoWright's mother, Deborah Marion, will participate in Sherra's hearing. We have confirmed with the Tennessee Parole Board that Marion will participate in that hearing today. Wright took a plea deal in 2019 where she pleaded guilty to facilitation to murder in LorenzoWright's death. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison with the eligibility of parole after serving a third of that sentence, which is about 9 years. With time served and credit, SherraWright is still not close to that mark, but here's what her credits do include that, again, get her closer to that mark, even though she has not been serving, nearly 9 years since she was sentenced. But here's the credit she has: 551 days spent in jail before trial. She also received 144 days of credit for her pretrial behavior. Wright earned 441 days of sentence reduction credits since her conviction, which in total equates to a little more than 3 years. So Shelby County District Attorney General Amy Wyrick says her office opposes this parole at this point. She says that SherraWright has not served nearly enough time of this 30-year sentence. We will be watching this parole hearing today. We will bring you the very latest.
Okay, you guys, that's the end of that. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Again, if you guys here for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you want to do so. Don't forget to thumbs up this content. And leave me a comment in the comment section, please. Thank you. Everything I just said is for the free. It's for the free. This thing called life, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But put your faith in God. He will see you through. I love you. God love you. And I hope you love yourself even more. Baby, keep it in mind. It get greater later. Thank you for watching.